Today I fucked up by maintaining my 1113-day streak on Duolingo. Edit 2, vielen Dank für Ihre guten Wünsche. Mein Deutsch verbessert sich, aber ich lerne immer noch. Ja, ich weiß. Lang Zeit. Edit, wow. Okay. First, thanks for the gold and the silver. My most popular post ever is about me being a moron. Good feeling. Yes, I will never be looking at my phone without sitting or lying down again. Second, for those claiming I'm lying because I haven't answered, I'm Australian dudes. I posted this at 11 PM and then went to sleep. I'm in the hospital. Calm the farm. For those who require it though, broken leg? Third, the language I was working on was German. I'm aware of the limitations of Duolingo, but I find it fun. And I'm pretty addicted to the whole streak thing. Fourth, yes, I'm an idiot. That's why I posted in Today I Fucked Up. Right now I'm in pain and I thought someone might be able to get some enjoyment out of that because of the absolutely stupid reason. This just happened today, on mobile, so please forgive any typos. Including the one in the title. Should be Duolingo. So this morning was like any other Tuesday morning. I woke up at 7 ready to head into work for my favorite work day of the week. I was gonna learn some new stuff and sit at a desk, not having to interact with customers at all. I get dressed and head out into our stairwell, not bothering to turn on the lights as I head towards the bottom floor and the garage. As I'm heading down, I figured it was a great time to pull out Duolingo. Gotta keep up with my streak and all that. As I'm completing the lessons, I'm getting towards the dark bit of the stairs. Not noticing or looking where I am going at all, I put out my foot for the next stair and suddenly, I fall. There is a massive crack as my foot hits the floor at a bizarre angle and I let out a scream. I reach down and touch my leg and notice that my shin should not be bulging like that and scream again, this time with more panic. I can't move the leg, it hurts too much. I crawl my way over to the phone and notice Duolingo still open. Naturally the first thought in my head is, well, this needs to be closed before I call my husband for help and some crutches. As I'm waiting for him I look down at my phone. Sure, I'm in immense pain. But those daily lessons. I stabilize my knee and promptly reopen the app. And there I am, waiting for crutches, sitting at the bottom of a stairwell, with my leg and ankle bent in two places in a way those parts were very much not supposed to bend, finishing the very lessons that caused me to fall in the first place. That was 16 hours ago. I am now lying in a hospital bed, unable to sleep, with my broken leg in a plaster cast, and yet still the haunting who of that owl calls to me. Too long didn't read, I fucked up by keeping up with Duolingo, and ended up breaking my leg. Makes no sense. The Duolingo owl is only supposed to break your legs if you don't keep up your streak. One leg as a warning. So if I keep it to 1112 days I'll be okay. Phew. I'm only at 5, but I gotta set goals. A Redditor maintained a 1113-day streak on Duolingo. This is what happened to their leg. Can you speak the language after 1113 days? I was wondering this too. If he can, I'd actually get this app. The owl is pleased with your sacrifice to the cause. Today I fucked up by pricking myself with an HIV contaminated syringe. I work with a known drug addict, who uses intravenous drugs regularly. He is HIV+, and has a few other diseases from sharing needles. I arrived at his home to pick him up, and found his door wide open. Okay, weird, I thought. I call his phone about 5 times, no answer. I call his name verbally, no response. At this point I decide to walk into his home, something I'm technically not supposed to do unless he's with me, but obviously something is wrong. I step into the doorway, and can hear a faucet running, it's coming from the kitchen. I call his name loudly, asking if he's hurt or something, silence. I go into the kitchen, and the sink is running full blast, with water all over the floor, and a trail of what appears to be water mixed with blood leading out of the kitchen. Following the trail leads me to his bedroom door, slightly open, TV on. I knock first, thinking I'm about to walk in on a murder scene or something. He's on the floor, drool dripping from his mouth. Completely unresponsive to me. He's partially covered in a soaking wet blanket, so I reach to pull it off of him, and immediately feel a sharp pinch to the side of my hand. I jerk my hand back immediately, think it was maybe a broken bottle or something, and could see that I was bleeding just a teeny tiny bit. I use my foot/shoe to move the blanket around, and a syringe hits the ground, half full of blood/drugs mixed together. My heart immediately dropped, and I went into full panic mode. I starting screaming his name at this point, and he moved a little bit, slowly coming to. I asked him repeatedly if he had just used the needle, but he was high out of his mind and couldn't even talk properly. I decide I've done enough, and call an ambulance. I sit with him until they arrive, and give them all the details. This literally happened this morning, so I'm still in limbo as far as whether I've contracted anything from his needle. As you can imagine, I'm pretty fucking scared right now, but I was given a drug at the hospital that supposedly helps minimize transmission after an exposure. I can only hope to God that it works. He was taken to ER, and allowed to detox, presumably he'll be fine. I'm no longer going to be working on his case after this incident. TL, doctor, I accidentally stabbed myself with my client's HIV plus contaminated needle. I work in a hospital and have had to go through an exposure protocol, have my blood drawn at the time, then a month, then 3, etc. I met with our doctor and he told me that he's been doing this for years and he's only had 2 to 3 patients that contracted hepatitis, 2, and 1 that had a high probability of contracting HIV from being exposed. They were knee-deep in patients' blood in critical situations. They took the same medication as you, and the patient that had a high probability for getting HIV didn't contract it, and the hepatitis patients took further medication and no longer have hepatitis. Keep your head up. I do suggest that you get regularly tested. Your employer should pay for it as well if you were exposed on the job. Edit for clarification. I take it you're on PEP now. Yep, have to take it for about a month. I got mugged by a junkie armed with a syringe in 2007. I didn't realize he had a syringe at first. It was dark, late, and I had had quite a few drinks. So rather than give him my money, I popped him on the nose. During the scuffle that followed, as I realized what was actually happening, I felt a sharp pinch on my hand and saw a syringe hit the deck. I went straight to the hospital, bringing the syringe with me. Long story short, 13 years later, I don't have HIV, married with 2 beaux today. I fucked up little kids. Those drugs work, mate. Fingers crossed for you. I've had 2 needle pricks in my career and no infection. It's scary as hell, but the odds look really good for you. Good luck, my friend. Today I fucked up by raping a spider to death. This post has some heavy NSFW elements to it, so be warned. Rape is a type of sexual assault usually involving sexual intercourse or other forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without that person's consent. This happened this morning, so it's all pretty fresh. So I'll be honest right off the bat, I have a cum rag which I use to masturbate. I'm rather using this blanket because I don't like touching my junk while masturbating. I have very rough hands. However, in this post I'll refrain from calling it a cum rag since it's kinda demeaning. I shall call it the cum blanket from now on. It's this utterly soft blanket, and when it's on my dick it's just the best feeling. Is it better than a vagina? Not really. But it does the job. I live together with my girlfriend, so letting the cum blanket just laying around wouldn't be wise. She knows I masturbate, she does it too, duh, but she doesn't know that I do it with a cum blanket. So after I masturbate I take the cum blanket and put it under my side of our shared bed. She never looks under there, and even if she did, she wouldn't see all the stains because after I'm done I gently roll the cum blanket up so all the sperm is on the inside of the cum blanket roll. She never touches or even acknowledges it, so I'm in the clear. So anyways, my girlfriend is currently homesick and she's staying up all night recently. Today, when I woke up for work around 5 AM, she was still up. I could hear her talking to friends online. In her office next to our bedroom. I don't really know why, but I got extremely horny all of a sudden. I had a look at my alarm clock. And I still had about 10 minutes to spare and my GF was still busy. So I took my cum blanket and got ready for a good time. I placed a soft part of the cum blanket over my dick and got my phone. I put in some earplugs and loaded up some nice porn, because why not? While I was searching for a good video, I felt this weird tingling sensation around the shaft region of my dick. It felt kinda weird, so I wanted to check, but the second the tingling started I found a nice video. The tingling also stopped, so I didn't bother any further. I fapped for about 7 minutes. It felt pretty nice, if that's worth something. After I unleashed my load was done, I do the usual routine. I'd have a look at the mess down there, to see what I had to clean up with my cum blanket. But when I turned my nightstand lamp on and had a look down there, I just couldn't believe what I saw. I almost couldn't make it out, my eyes were still adjusting, but I was horrified. In the midst of all the cum was a gigantic spider, or rather what was left of it. It was fucking disgusting. It was this green/yellowish slime mixed with cum. Remains of an utterly dismembered arachnid, that poor thing. You could make out its upper torso and some legs. Jesus, the hairs, man. They were everywhere. How do these things have so many hairs? And the legs, they were the only thing that was remotely intact. I don't know how it got in my rolled up cum blanket. It must have thought it'd make a great home or something. Maybe it was just looking for protection. Oh dear God. And it wasn't just some regular house spider. It was a huge motherfucking monster. Turns out that tingling feeling was probably the spider trying to escape its impending doom. The thing was almost as big as the palm of my hand. At least that's what I could make out by looking at its dismembered remains. I felt so terrible about what I had done. I instantly rushed to the bathroom with my cum blanket and cleansed it of all spider remains. I just can't get that out of my head, that poor animal on my dick getting crushed, torn apart and then soaked in cum. It didn't deserve to die like this. For all it's worth, I hope its life ended quick. I hope the spider can forgive me. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Anyways, thank you so much for reading. I just had to let this out. Too long didn't read. I got real horny and didn't realize I was raping an innocent spider, which was hiding in my cum rag, to death. May it rest in peace. Edit. Here's some minor details people have been asking for. I live in Germany. That's the spider species. The cum blanket gets cleaned on a weekly basis. I fap like 2 times a week, so chill out. Why do people keep sending me this? Be me, young spider fresh out of spider uni. Think of building my own home to have kids with my spider girlfriend of 4 years. Find nice, soft and warm place to build my home. Checking the interior before finalizing. Huge mfing snake enters my to-be home. Understand that fighting it is not possible. Snake looks tough and deadly. Try making a run for it. Halfway through. Fuck, the snake started moving. It is crushing me. I love you, Jane. Hope you never have to encounter a monster like this. Mom, I tried. Not every life has a happy ending. This is the most intense piece of erotica I've ever read. This is truly pornographic avant-garde. A tragedy portraying the destructive nature of man's untamed desires. Quell Rur. Marvel didn't lie when they said the new generation of superheroes would be even grimmer and grittier. It's just not the origin story I expected for the new Spider-Man. Holy fucking shit, that's awful. I am traumatized just reading that. Well, I was kinda worried, but it's just a spider in the end. None of it got into my urethra, so I should be fine. Skeptical. How often do you wash this? Not often enough for it to again be referred to as simply a blanket, that's for sure.